Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we'll be reacting to the final episode, episode 12 of The Day I Became a God. Mm-hmm. What happened on the journey so far?
That's not the question I thought you were going to be asking. Or do you actually want me to answer that? Last episode, Hina was having trouble, but she was making progress with Yota there, playing some games. But somebody is finding out, whether it's the lady or somebody else, is finding out that Yota is there under false pretenses, that he's not actually her dad or whatever he said.
No, he said he was a researcher.
Oh, okay. Right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so there's that. So he's in trouble, and he's going to get kicked out soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he had a moment where the lady who's been taking care of Hina is getting a bit possessive over her, and she doesn't want... Hina doesn't need to remember all those things because she's making really good memories now. Mm-hmm. I'll make her so happy that she doesn't need to remember all that stuff. It's all about right now. Mm-hmm. And he had a moment where he was genuinely considering that was the truth. Mm-hmm. But then he talked to his friends and family, and they were setting him back on the right track. So we will see what happens this time on The Day I Became a God episode 12.
I thought you were doing the intro. You just forget you were doing the intro?
No!
Well, just forgot what you were doing.
Yeah, I guess there's only one way to find out. It's to watch
this episode.
Find out what? What happens? Make sure to like and subscribe. We hope you enjoyed watching the series with us, and want to enjoy watching some future.
Let's go! It's a horrible bite, Hina. This is the best place for her. Look at all of the absence of any color other than yellow and brown.
Now they can break in. Literally just stealing Hina to overseas.
God damn it, we're so close.
功するんじゃない。
僕はこのまま帰るわけには。ヒナを連れて帰るんだ。
仕方ないな。
Straight up fucking knocked him out. My god.
みんなごめん、僕はヒナを取り戻せなかった。ヒナ、君の居場所はそこになったんだね。ヒナ、じゃあね、元気で。
お兄ちゃんがバイバイだって。ひなちゃんもバイバイしてあげようね。
行くぞ。
さよなら、ヒナ。
ない。え？足りない。足りない？何が？よー！よー！
まさか僕はそこにいたから。だからひなちゃんダメ。ひなちゃん、いや。ひな。
They really get you with the song.
They do.
残ってたんだ。あの時の気持ちが今も思い合っているんだ。そんな気持ちも分からずに、そんな思いも僕は気づかずに。ヒナー！ヒナ。僕もヒナが好きだ。
She's so sad.
僕も好きだ。僕たちの家に。ただいま。我らがお姫様のご帰還だよ。
ひなちゃん、おかえりなさい。ひなちゃん。
おかえり、ヨータ。
今のヒナはもう。
何も言わなくていい。お前の顔を見ればわかる。
兄貴、やるときはやるし、見直したし。
僕は温かな家族に感謝した。
おかえりなさい。おかえりなさい、ひなちゃん。
髪切ったんだな。
可愛いじゃない。いつもの服は。
あれがないとひなっぽく。
あれじゃあ映画の続きが撮れないし。
絶対必要だな。
確かに。
みんなはあの夏の続きを送りたいと言ってくれてるんだ。
それでいい？ひなちゃん。
Also play basketball.
久々にやるか？
よし、やろう。いいかいひな。あの輪っかにくぐらすんだよ。下投げでいいからいっぱい投げてごらん。お、そうだ。出会った時にまずこれに興味を持ったんだ。もしかしてヒナと出会った人って全部ヒナが普通の人の暮らし、バスケをやったりラーメンを食べたり家族の一員として暮らしたり気放題やってしまいには映画の披露たりしてそうか、あったことが詰まった夏だったんだ。そんな大切な夏を忘れようとしていたなんてバカだ僕。
どうした兄貴？
なんでもない。じゃあ投げてごらんひな。どんまい。何度でも試せばいい。入るまでやろうよ。
outfit.
はーい。はい。最後に
Oh, she just regains everything. It really was the suit.
ひな、ここまで来ればいいんだよ。覚えてない？ひな、君がこの物語のヒロインだったんだよ。僕が相手役の少年。2人が主演の映画を撮っていたんだよ。その続きを撮るんだ。ゆっくりでいい。ここまでおいで。いいよ。そのままこっちだよ。ひな。あ、ゆっくり。
She looks so funny. All wrapped up, but still with the thing on top. Her little hat.
まるで映画みたいだね。よし、決めた。僕、大学を受け直すよ。さんみたいな立派な研究者になりたい。ひなの病気のことをたくさん勉強して、僕の力で助けたいんだ。僕が解明する。たとえ人知が及ばなくても、僕が切り開いてみせる。になるけど、いいかな。
ヒナはヨハが好き。
よーし、自信が湧いてきた。やるぞー。
カット。クランクアップだし、みんなお疲れ様だし。
I hope we get to see this movie. I want to see the movie so
It's gonna
bad.
be the end credits, I bet.
でもこれからやることがたくさん待ってるわよ。
Hasn't been edited at all.
Yeah. Karma is in title. Oh
世
god.
界は危機に瀕していた。人々はこの説明のつかない災害を
まだつかめんのか。世界のほころびの原因は。
今、目に尽力しております。もうしばらくお待ちを。
世界の脳システムじゃ。じゃがそのエネルギーが今や枯渇状態。一つ一つの回路が動きを止めようとしておる。
災害が。
精霊省調査団を組織。
ララララララララララララ。
なんじゃあの数の精霊は。
This is the actual movie.
裸足のままじゃないか。でも上手くなくて不器用で才能なんてほとんどないのに。
ただ世界を救おったのじゃ。
そんな。
出発は朝じゃぞ。
隙をついてアンを連れ出す。そしてに出るんだ。世界の終わりなんて僕たちには関係ない。儀式が始まる。それはアンが犠牲となる儀式。アンを生贄として世界を救う儀式。そしてアンが進んでいく祭壇に向けて。何の才能もなくていい。僕はアンが好きだから。だからこの儀礼。
なんじゃあやつは。
追い出すんだ。待て。
儀式が、回路が、世界を維持する仕組みが。
大丈夫だからね。行こ
台が崩れてしまう。どうだった？
すごい傑作じゃないか。
やっちゃ目の笑うよ。監督の手腕も素晴らし
She
い
just
わ。
die?
照れるし、
She
みん
dead?
なのいい思い出になったら。
I'm really.
そんなのがあれば人は幸せでいられるんじゃろう。
すごくいい思い出ができた。そうだよね、ひな。 寝ちゃったか。
じゃあ撮っていくし、
これは
メイキング映像だし、これを最後に付け足してくれってひなちゃんに。では今回神様になってみてどうでしたか？そうじゃの、何もかもが新鮮であった。毎日がキラッキラしておった。たくさんの宝石を詰めた宝箱のような思い出となった。世界が終わり滅びようとも、この思い出だけは消えたりはせん。わしの永遠の宝物じゃ。
そうか、そんな風に思ってくれたんだ。だったらよかった。これから待つ未来は想像もつかない。どんな救いもない。奇跡も残酷な世界かもしれない。それでも僕は精一杯ひなと生きていく。
And things whole again. Nice. And that's it. So what'd you think of that episode?
It's a pretty sad episode, but also pretty happy. What do you think?
It was sad, but I just can't, like, it just, the last couple episodes really, it feels like soften the blow to me, and it just feels completely different. I have a really hard time. I did start to tear up when she decided to go with him. That was really sad. But it just feels so different, and it really brought it back in this episode. But to me, I'd be lying if I said that it was like really. I'd be lying if I said that it like really impacted me, which is really sad because it was a good ending. They managed to pull it together. Classic. They managed to somehow wrangle it in the final episode, and that episode felt like an hour long. Because it was just so packed in with stuff. But it never felt like similar to the end of Charlotte. It never felt like it moved too fast.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I don't know. I feel like this end was very satisfying in a weird, like it was the best that could have happened.
Yes,
it's how I feel about it. That's why I guess I'm not too sad about it. Like it still is really sad. Like it's just really horrible. But then getting her side of it, of like she wanted to do all these things because it's the things that she had always wanted to do, and now she just has those memories with her forever, and that's just a really beautiful thing. And like she maintains the memory of that and everything. Yeah. And she gets now Yota is inspired to go to school and research her condition and stuff. So it was really sad, but it went in the best way that it possibly could. Exactly. So I'm not. I don't know. Like it's like a satisfying and almost happy end. Obviously not as happy as if they had just been, like they had never taken Hina away. But this is probably the next best thing, because the other options would be never seeing her again, or getting to see her and then having her shipped overseas with that lady. So but now she gets to live with her family, and at least that's something. And she finished the movie as well.
The movie, the footage that she left at the end reminded me of the girl's parents. I forget her mom.
Oh, the
at
mom.
The very beginning.
Yeah.
I think in like episode 2
I wonder
or
if she was inspired by that.
Maybe, yeah.
That she like her mom left some footage, and maybe she thought maybe she would as well.
And the message is similar, but it's also kind of the opposite, where the mom was just like kind of forget about me and all the memories and everything. Forget about that and move on with your life. Whereas in this one, it's just I'll never forget and I'll always cherish those memories.
And I hope you
forever.
do too, kind of.
And Yoda's thing was super inspiring to me of what he said at the end of just our life might be one of with no miracles or happiness or anything, but at least we'll have each other, and that's better than whatever else. And I'm happy to accept that or whatever. I forget how he worded it, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why it is satisfying, because like although it is not a necessarily happy ending, all the characters have kind of made peace with it. As hard as it is,
yeah,
they know that they can move forward with how it is now and have a good life.
Yeah. But I don't really have much more to say about it.
I
Like,
don't.
It's hard to have a lot to say. Like, again, with these, it's always like we have a lot to say going up to the finale, but once the finale hits, we always find ourselves like, okay, well, what now? I guess. Like, I guess we could talk about our like review of the whole show, but for me, it definitely doesn't stack up to Angel Beats or Charlotte, which is a shame because I think that the comedic episodes really worked and were hilarious, and they still had their own emotional stuff going on, and it was really good. But it feels again like it just feels like it went off in a crazy direction, similar to Angel Beats, where it just like kind of lost sort of the soul of it. But obviously it was in service of this, and like it's the ending we got wouldn't have happened if we didn't get all that stuff. But it felt like the bulk of like the actual plot and what the story was actually about, the tension and everything, the conflict was completely separated from what I identify with the show and what I find meaningful about the show. It had nothing to do with all this actual meaningful stuff that was going on with the plot, like with Suzuki. Some of the Suzuki stuff was cool and interesting, and
but I feel
terrifying,
like it was just interesting. I felt like Suzuki was almost like things just happen so weirdly in this show sometimes. Like Suzuki does all that and then he just shows up and is at their school but is not allowed to say anything, but as soon as they realize it, then he's allowed to say, and then he just somehow tricks everyone that Yota is a researcher. Like, I don't know, to me that part of the plot is just, I don't know, maybe a little bit much. And then it just like all happened, and then he was just at the research place for 3 episodes, and it was just kind of sudden and weird.
It did feel very sudden. That episode felt very sudden, and I feel like that was like what really, like the fact that
it kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
It was a bit of a shock, and I'm not like, I don't know, like watching stuff week to week like this, I don't find myself thinking, even when stuff is clearly moving fast, I'm willing to overlook it. But like in this, it just felt like they waited just a hair too long to really get things going, and then it took them an episode to really get it going. And then you only have 12 episodes, and it's everything that was really relevant to the plot happened in the last 3.
One thing I do like about this show is a lot of the characters were not a lot of them, but some of them were sort of in a weird moral gray area where they weren't like her dad who left. And it's that, and also the nurse lady who was looking after Hina. It's like that weird thing where, like, what makes them doing the right thing is like if they believe they're doing the right thing. It's sort of a weird
relative type of
situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which
I wasn't really expecting. You know, because the dad leaves his daughter to go start a new family, and you're like, oh, what a jerk. And then you find out like why he did it, and then you can kind of agree or disagree with what you would do, but you can't 100% hate him. Yeah, because it's such like a singular problem that like it's really difficult to put yourself in their shoes. So you can judge them all you want, but like at the end of the day, you have no idea what that kind of pressure is like, and like what that actually feels like. So yeah, but then in the end, Yota makes the other choice of sticking with her, and for him, that's worth it. Yeah. So. And I guess a big thing, I'm not like, I don't need to be bamboozled all the time with the plot and everything, but when I think about like how much I loved the ending of Charlotte, because a lot of people
I think, had the same criticisms that we're having. The only reason I'm comparing it here is because a lot of the reasons that people criticize Charlotte were the same reasons that we're kind of criticizing this show for. But I didn't feel it in Charlotte, and it's possibly because we watched it, like, binged it.
Yeah.
But it's also possible... Oh, fuck, I just lost my train of thought. No. Oh, I had a good point. Help me.
It's
Help
possible,
me.
but with Charlotte, we binged Charlotte, but that might not be the case
it's
because...
before that. What were we talking about before that? Fuck, no!
the complaints that people had with Charlotte... we're...
Oh, yeah, I don't need to be bamboozled with everything all the time, but, like, I don't need... something being predictable isn't necessarily a big deal breaker for me, usually. But with this one, it just felt like it took so many twists and turns, but I was never, like, really surprised by, like, where it was going. It felt like the shoe... I was expecting the shoe to drop every step of the way, and it felt like it lagged, and I had enough time to be like, okay... Like, the ending that just happened was the exact ending that we predicted, I think, early on. Like, how he would make the different choice
than
his dad, and then they would live together while she's, like, all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, we saw that coming, and, like, once again, I don't need to be surprised all the time, or things don't need to, like, be super different all the time, and being predictable isn't always I recognize how difficult it is to be unpredictable, and when shows or stories try to be really unpredictable and, like, subversive, it a lot of times ends up being the only thing that the show is about. It's all about, like, subverting these tropes or subverting the story or your expectations, and then the other things about it are neglected. So this show didn't do that. Like, it was fully predictable. We predicted the ending, and it gave us enough time to, like, see everything coming. And it wasn't super, experimental with its plot structure very much, other than the fact that it started really late. That was pretty different and interesting. But as far as the actual plot itself, once it got going, it was fairly standard, and I don't care about that. But generally, I don't. But in this case, it really did. Like, I wasn't super shocked a lot of the time. Like, whenever something would come up, it just seems like this is the logical progression of this, and it was really predictable. And that, I think that also, along with the fact that that the plot did kind of feel rushed in this, it was also predictable. And but it was, I don't know, like, it just didn't. All these little things I could take one way or the other, but all of them together, we're left here at the end, and it feels like I was watching a different show than when we started the season off. Mm-hmm. And that's my real complaint with it, and why it didn't really... Like, I did tear up there, but it didn't really... Like, it doesn't stack up with the other stuff that I've seen. And it's not up there with, like, the best shows... Well, we haven't watched that many shows this year, I guess, like, comparatively to what's been out there, so... It's not up there with, like... are my favorite shows of the year, and of the ones we've watched on the channel, it's definitely not, like, at the top of my list. So, but which is fine. It's fine for what it was, but I can't help but be a little bit disappointed, as much as I did enjoy the ride and how fun and awesome it was.
It was so awesome for so long.
Yeah.
And it did have a satisfying end, so I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, this is not as hating on the show by any means. It just, for us, didn't quite, like...
It didn't reach the heights for a number of little reasons, and yeah, we could go on. I guess I could go on with a couple more negative things, but it's, that's basically it. And it sucks because I did really enjoy, like, the first 5 or 6 episodes. I really enjoyed, and was thinking this is gonna be, like, one of the greats. But as it went along, it did feel like it just kind of went in a more random direction, or the direction that it was meant to go in from the beginning just started a little bit too late, and things felt rushed, or things, like, didn't have enough room for interesting turns, or, like, things being flipped on their head or anything. And then, like, the whole thing with Suzuki, I felt like was really underdeveloped. Yeah. I feel like he could have been a way larger part of the story, or we could have seen him a lot more.
He either could have been a bigger part of the story, or could have been not at all.
Yeah.
And it might have made it better.
Yeah.
Either of those, with either option.
And it's because I did like him. I liked everything,
his character,
even his
but
backstory,
it
everything
just
about
seemed
him.
like he was there for so short of a time. He caused, like, the entire plot.
Yeah.
He was the cause, but he, didn't. I don't know.
He didn't have enough to do with the actual characters. Like if he was a part of the group or so, like I don't know what the answer is because it would require require the story to be different. So I'm not gonna like come up with a million different scenarios of why of how that could have been better because there are a million ways you could do it. And but all I'm saying is I would have liked to see more of him, I guess. And I think that him being more involved with the actual story of it, or just it starting earlier, like if it all started in episode 5 instead of episode 9, then maybe it would have been more integrated. Because when I think of Day Became a God, I think of all the fun episodes. I said it before, but I think of all the fun episodes. I think of all the comedy, the ramen shop, and like the mahjong episode, and all the earlier stuff. That's what I think of with Day Became a God. I don't think of all the stuff in the sanatorium.
Yeah, it might have even been interesting to see Suzuki, try and get it so that he could bring Yota in. Like, it would have been interesting to see sort of his process afterwards, because we know he, immediately felt like shit about it. But then he just, rolls in with this fully developed weird plan of, infiltrating the group and doing everything that Hina did. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well...
But I would be curious to hear in the comments what all of you guys thought about the show.
Do you agree or disagree, or...
And, tell us, why... I think that if we watch the show in a binge, I think this is probably a better show to watch all at once, for sure.
That's true.
I think that definitely affected it a little bit, but I would be interested to see what you guys thought, because last time some people were, disagreeing with us. And I don't mind when people disagree with us, but I would be interested of why?
Yeah.
Why it worked for you, and if you've seen Angel Beats or Charlotte or anything else, but don't spoil other shows.
Spoil other shows if you can.
But if you've seen those, how you think it stacked up, and what you think this show maybe did better or the other shows did better that this show didn't quite hit, I'd just be curious about that.
Well, that's all I gotta say about it. Hope you guys enjoyed our reaction to The Day Became a God.
Should we say that we'll be watching Clannad?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna be watching Clannad. Outside of any Patreon poll or anything, we're just choosing to now have a key anime slot. Just always
because
there.
we want to watch all of the key anime stuff, so...
Yeah, we're not 100% sure when it will be coming, but we will be doing Clannad and After Story.
Then after that, probably Little Busters as well.
Yeah.
And anything else.
Whatever. And maybe we'll do visual novels of stuff. If we really like the show, there's a wealth of shit that's the source material that we could get into, that we could do on streams or whatever. But yeah, Clannad's up next. It won't be coming right after this. We don't have a full-on timeline because there's other things that we need to get ahead on, get ahead on Naruto and stuff like that. We won't make this into a big announcement or anything, but... we're not going to go through every scheduling thing, but we're going to try and get ahead on other things and then get Clannad and then just have that rolling for the foreseeable future. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed our reaction to The Day Became a God, and stay tuned for more. If you just came here to watch our review of the whole show and you're not actually subscribed to the channel, we ask you to subscribe for future stuff, because there will be more things. If you like this, then there's more stuff to enjoy on our channel, more things in the future. So hope you liked the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.